So because I know nobody's actually going to join this, I am taking this video so that I have a collection or documentation to tell me just how long it takes me to get into cosplay for Hotaru. I should have grabbed a drink before I started this. But yeah, that's why I'm doing this, because I know I do not have nearly enough followers for anyone to actually give a shit and show up. But in case I do upload this somewhere else in the future, I'm probably going to talk a little bit. Also, because I'm not used to just standing there when there's a camera on me, unless that's what I'm filming. I'm used to talking. So, my light's not actually there, that's a lamp. The light's over here. In case anyone's wondering. I might put this on YouTube, because now that I have more free time and my phone has a more reliable connection. Well, I don't have more free time, but I have more free time for my phone? It's hard to explain without going through the whole situation, so okay, sorry, my dad. So I had a thing that my dad put on my phone called Custodio that basically allows whoever's running it to turn the internet off on a device. So I wouldn't be able to load any new pages, I wouldn't be able to use any apps that require internet, anything like that for the whole time I was at school. And then when I was at school, couldn't do anything there either, and my phone was really my only piece of technology, so that's where I uploaded my stuff from. But I rarely did that because it took so dang long to do. But now I'm online schooled, so I'm at home with a reliable Wi-Fi connection all day, and I don't have Custodio on my phone anymore, so that's not a problem. Because of course, like Custodio, I only got like a couple hours of internet time a day, but now I have the internet all day on my phone. So that's something I plan on doing, because I sit and charge my phone while I work on school on my computer, so I can upload stuff on my phone while I do school, because it's not like I'm using the phone for anything when I'm doing that. So that's probably where this will end up. If it ends up anywhere. Because I know portrait style videos are never fun to watch on YouTube. You can actually, if you're watching a video on mobile, on a phone, and on a phone or iPad? On a phone or tablet, I think. If you're watching a portrait style video and you hit the expand button with your screen lock on, because when your screen lock's on, it won't turn. It will go straight onto your phone, like how the live screen looks for me right now, where it's filling up the whole screen. It'll do that, so you won't have the weird black spots on either side of the video and have to tilt whatever you're watching on to watch it the right way up. It will expand directly to your phone. Kind of like a TikTok. How TikToks fill your whole screen? Like that. It'll do that. Which is really handy. Because I know how aggravating watching videos sideways is. Now this won't work on like a TV or a laptop where the screen is in landscape mode. But for phones where your screen's in portrait mode, it will zoom out to portrait mode. So hopefully it'll do that if I get it on YouTube. And I would play music or something. That's usually what I do when I get into cosplay, because it does take me a bit. Except that I would usually play it on my phone, and I'm doing stuff with my phone, and I don't want to get copyright struck, because one time I was taking a video just so I could make it into a time-lapse of me knitting, and I was watching one of Delightful's videos as I did it, and it copyrighted me for having her video's audio in the background. So yeah, not risking that one. Because I need this, because I actually don't know how long it takes me to get into cosplay, because I play music every time. and I want to know how long it takes me, especially because this is a new character with the new finger rules, because in the past I've only cosplayed characters who used my hair, but now I've got wigs, which you can't actually see right now. I somehow perfectly angled the camera to where you can't see any of them, which is funny because like there's literally one, I'm touching one of them right now. This is like, I'm just barely touching it right now and my arm's not that long, so it's kind of funny that I managed to perfectly angle the camera not to get that one on screen, but you could see two of them for a second there. I'm very much a wig beginner. I have 4 wigs, one of which I'm not using at the moment because I don't have anyone to use it for. I'm just gonna ramble because I don't really have anything else to do. Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get myself a drink. Got a drink. And yeah, I know that this is a reusable straw. Is not a reusable straw. It's a disposable one. But we don't have any reusable straws tall enough to fit this cup at my house. Glass straws and metal straws are pretty much out of the question for my family, because my brother and I, and my dad, but this doesn't bother him half as much, my brother and I are autistic, and we both have extreme sound sensitivities and texture sensitivities, and the feel and texture and the sounds that metal and glass straws make, even just thinking about it now, my ears are starting to hurt. Because sound sensitivities aren't just, oh, it bothers you, it physically hurts. Which I don't think a lot of people quite understand, but that's the truth of the matter. Is that you tell us just ignore it, that like that's literally not something that we can do as people. We literally can't just ignore it. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. It's a commercial my dad loves to reference. I was talking about something. Oh, the wig. Since I'm going to be rambling, I might as well tell you the story of the wig that has no use right now, which is, I'm not gonna, no way I'm gonna get her down. Okay, come here. Yeah, okay. Here it is. This is the wig with no use currently. You can kind of tell, because it's much messier than the rest of them. But that's the one. Okay, pinch, aim, get over there. Okay. If anybody's wondering what on earth I was just doing, my wigs are actually being stored on the ends of my curtain rods, because they have like bulbs, like crystal balls on the ends of them, and that's where I'm storing my wigs. Because I don't actually have a place to store wigs. I didn't need a place to store wigs until very recently. I got 2 of them Sunday, and it is Thursday. So I really didn't need a place to store wigs before. Anyway, I got that wig last Halloween, so Halloween in 2018, because I wanted to be Ballora from Five Nights at Freddy's sister location, because I am a Five Nights at Freddy's fan. But I did not know what I was doing in the slightest, and I got this wig. It was for Katy Perry's California Girls music video, so it was completely long hair and had the bangs and all the stuff, and I got it thinking I could do something with it to make it look like Ballora. I am not that good. And I got it and thought that it was a lost cause because the bangs were way too long. If the wig's on me and I have the wig cap landing here, which is where I have all my wig caps go because that's my hairline, then the bangs were down here at my nose. And that's way too long. So I thought the wig was lost cause. But a couple weeks ago, I think, I kind of went berserk because as an autistic person, I get these bouts that are basically, I call them do things bouts. Basically, your brain goes, you need to be doing things right now, and then doesn't let you stop until it's satisfied that you've done enough things. If anybody else gets that, please tell me, because that would be nice to not be alone. But I was in a do things bout, and I got the wig out, and I styled it. I brushed it out. Well, I didn't brush it. I combed it out because it's much more gentle. And then I trimmed it because it was really, really tangled. Well, I trimmed the bangs first because, like I said, they were way too long. And then after I trimmed the bangs, then I kept the two pieces in front of the ears long so they could cover up the hair right here, because of course the wig runs right here when the hair comes all the way down here. And then I trimmed the rest of it, and I still don't have anyone to use it for. So it is currently the unused wig in my little collection I have here, my little collection of 4 wigs. I have a possible, had to think of the word there, use for it, but the person who would be creating the tag for the possible use has yet to do so. They said they might do it, they might not, and they haven't done anything for or against yet. I'm not sure if they've cosplayed their initial character they made for it either, so I'm waiting for more news on that before I pick something to use for. Because if I get the definite no, it ain't happening from them, I'm not gonna save the wig. I'll find something else to use it for. Because most of my wigs, I purposely buy just long wigs that aren't really styled because that allows me to use them for multiple characters. That's also the reason I mainly do female gender bent characters or OCs, because then I have creative liberties with the hairstyle, which allows me to use the same wig for many, 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 many people. Like, I got my blonde wig to use for Hawks, but because it's female gender bent, I can also use it for Sting Eucliffe, which I wouldn't be able to do if I was using regular male styled wigs, because they have completely different hairstyles. But with the female gender bent, I can use the same wig, which saves me time, effort, and money, because it would also require me to put much more effort into hiding my natural hair to wear the male wigs, which I don't feel like doing, because I already put in a lot of effort to hide this giant nest I've got here. Okay, I think I've gotten enough bobby pins for just my hair. And that's a really weird place to keep these, but oh, I also don't actually have any normal hairnets. Well, wig caps. I use the hairnets that come with my wigs. This one came with the green wig for Beetlejuice and Audrey too. I don't know why I stick with this one when I got 2 others from the new wigs that I got Sunday, but it just happens. That's just how it goes. For poor Pinocchio. That's a reference. That's something I should play if I ever. My dad just called me, so you didn't miss much, just me putting bobby pins to hold this hairnet in place. Funny thing, I don't actually put bobby pins in my wigs. I realize that. I put them in when I did my teen form Audrey 2, and then I put them in. Yeah, I put them in when I did my teen form Audrey 2, but then I haven't put them in since. I didn't put them in when I did Beetlejuice. I didn't put them in when I did Hawks. I didn't put them in when I did Hotaru for the first time. I don't know why. I'm kind of glad I didn't put them in for Hawks because I switched wigs that night and used the exact same makeup and clothing, but a different wig. And if I put bobby pins in the Hawks wig, those bobby pins when coming out probably would have ripped out everything else, which wouldn't have been good for me. Now it is makeup time. Yay. That's the most fun part, isn't it? Well, I mean, it's the most fun part for me. I wouldn't know for everyone else. I assume that for a lot of people, makeup is not very fun because of how much effort it takes. I'm actually going to be developing a whole new look today because last time when I did Hotaru, like I said, I used the exact same makeup that I had used from Hawks because I, on a whim, switched wigs. And I haven't actually developed makeup specifically for Hotaru yet, so that's something that I need to do. That's black. Okay. Palettes, brushes, all the weird sticky thingies. Let's do it. Now, I'm not quite sure what colors to use because for Hawks, I use like a bunch of browns and then a bit of black and like some yellows because those are like his hair colors and like his costume colors. He has a lot of brown in his hero costume. So like those are the colors that resonate and go with him. And they're colors that I would pick for outfits that I put him in because that makes sense. Like, I don't have any actual cosplays of like characters' canon outfits because I don't have the room or money for that or the skills to do that because, like I said much earlier in this stream, I am very touch and thus fabric sensitive, so buying pre-made pieces online from other people is pretty much out of the question for me because I have to make them knowing they'll be comfortable for me as a person. Okay, I think I'm gonna start this the same way I started Hawks. I should probably talk about Hotaru if I'm doing her. Hotaru is, oh wait, no, I had a point. My point is, I don't have any actual canon costumes, so I don't really have any actual cosplays for any characters, but I do try to pick things from my closet that I think are similar to things that they have or would wear. Like my femme Dabi has only ever worn hoodies, and like I think I've only ever worn one hoodie for her, and it's this dark gray one that looks kind of ratty on the edges. It's got kind of torn up edges. And then this, she has worn this a dress I have, very pretty dress. That was just because I like wearing that dress. That had nothing to do with Dabi herself. But then she's also worn this black dress, and that's a color I feel like Dabi would wear. It's black. That's actually what he was wearing when he first joined the league, because a lot of y'all seem to be forgetting that, I don't know how people keep forgetting this, Dabi did not join the league in his nice jacket that we all know him with the stitches on shoulders and shit. He joined the league in this ratty, torn up jacket, pants that were way too short for him, and these really old, torn up loafers. You go back and look at the scene, tell me I'm wrong. And then when they all got their gear to attack the training camp, that's when he got his really cool jacket. Because you'll see, that's a thing Toga yells about, is how she doesn't like her new gear. So Dabi got the new gear too. Don't quite know why, except for the fact that his old gear didn't fit him at all. I would assume that's because he didn't have the money to go buy anything else. That would make sense. Because he's a homeless emo. I don't know where that joke came from, but it's just a joke the fandom has. But yeah, so black is a color Dabi has worn. And a lot of people tried to point out that you shouldn't put him in black because his coat is blue, but he has worn black before. It's a color he's known to have worn. And with a person who hasn't had that many outfits, we're at 3 now. 3 canon outfits. So many! For a character that doesn't have that many outfits, you take everything you can get. Well, that's funny. I accidentally hit the thing and it made the camera shake. So, take everything we can get with him. Anyway. Do I have a blue looking white? Yeah, I do. Okay. That was the point with that. But now on to Hotaru. And I'm sorry if anyone is actually watching this. I know I get distracted and I go off on tangents a lot. That's just something that happens to me because I find something to talk about. It takes me a while to get to the point, but then I find something else to talk about in doing that. And it just goes on and on and on. You get the picture. So, Hotaru now. Hotaru is my 4-day-old Dabi Hawk's 2nd gen OC. Her name is Hotaru. I looked up a Japanese name website. I looked in the female name section because Japanese names are, for the most part, gendered. And that one meant Firefly. I didn't want to pick, I was going to pick Sora, because that was a name that a lot of people thought could possibly be Hawks' name because it means sky. But his name is Keigo, which I think means, it's something like enlightener or something. It's like that. I don't know all the definition. I know Taka is bird, but yeah, so I was gonna pick Sora, but then I thought that's probably one a lot of people have picked. And I've seen a lot of fan fictions where Dabi's not a villain, where Firefly is a nickname that Hawks has for him. So I thought that'd be cute. So, Hotaru it is. And you're gonna have to give me a second, because someone is calling me. Time to continue as if nothing happened. Anyway, Hotaru, my next gen Dabi Hawk's OC. So, I'm gonna give a bit of background on the world that I've built around Hotaru for this. So, she lives in a world where the League of Villains has been taken down. They were defeated. And sorry, I'm trying to pick shades of blue. Where the League of Villains has been defeated. And for the most part, all of the members were put into a new villain rehabilitation program, which assesses their ability to overcome any issues they might have. And then if they're clear to do so, they rejoin society as normal members. So like, people like Moonfish wouldn't qualify because he has such insane issues and violent urges that he wouldn't be able to function in regular human society. Whereas someone like Toga or like Twice, who have mental issues but ones that can probably be worked with, they would probably be okay. Like, it might take a little bit, but they'd probably be okay. Because the big thing about Twice is his issue, I don't want to call it bipolar disorder, because I'm not sure if it is, but his issue where he has the two opinions constantly battling each other, it's very possible, and it might have been confirmed in the Ultra Analysis book. I'm not sure, I'd have to go look it up, which I can't. I'm pretty sure that it's possible that that is a side effect of his quirk, because his quirk is to create copies of other people and himself. So it would make sense that a side effect of that, a lasting side effect, would be his personality splitting into two, because it basically did. And that makes sense, right? That makes sense to me. But and I got that idea, like, I've been thinking it, but then it was kind of solidified in my head as a real theory, right? Reading Change on the Rise. Can't remember author name, so sorry about that, but Change on the Rise, go into the Dabi Hawks tag on Archive of Our Own. It's really, really good. It's at 35 chapters now, but there are only actually 34 chapters. The 35th one is asking if we want to switch to Hawks' actual name, because they've been calling him Sora the whole time. And if anybody wants to fuss at me for not pronouncing the Japanese names correctly, I'm going by how most of the fandom knows them. Because, like, most of the fandom knows them as Deku, Uraraka, when really it's Uraraka, and Deku. Not Deku, Deku. Like, De, and then Ku. Deku. So, but a lot of fandom wouldn't know that. They'd say that I was doing it wrong when actually I'm pronouncing it correctly. So I'm just using how the fandom would normally say the names as Sora and Hotaru. And I can't say Hotaru's name like the fandom would say it, because I'm so used to saying it correctly. But anyway, yeah. That's why I'm saying Sora instead of Sora, when it's actually Sora. Funny fact, about Big Hero 6, actually. I know this is coming out of left field, but in Big Hero 6, the only character that pronounces our main character's name correctly is Honey Lemon. She says Hiro when everybody else goes Hero. And because it's a Japanese name, she's right, it's Hiro. Or you dot the R. That's what that's called, right? Because rolling the R's is which is just dotting the R over and over and over and over and over again. That's a thing. I'm a choir kid, so I learned how to do that pretty early on in my singing career. So dotting R's and rolling R's isn't really a problem for me. Anyway, so like I said, this world where the League is rehabilitated. So Hotaru is born when Dabi is in this kind of in-between area. And I'm headcanoning this, the way she's born. Because she is their biological child. I'm canoning it either as a quirk that allowed Dabi and Hawks to have a kid, or I've seen this in the theory before that Hawks hatched from an egg, and so he could possibly lay eggs. So, Empreg, but that's just one of two possibilities. I already said the other one. So that's how I'm headcanon her born. She is their biological child. And in this one, Dabi is Touya Todoroki, or Todoroki Touya. He is our Todoroki. One is Todoroki, Shoto's brother. So that's where the red hair comes from, because in the anime, Touya has red hair. In the manga, he has white hair in one frame, but in the anime, he has red hair. And I'll be honest, I hopped on the red hair train for the shock factor, because imagine, like, something happens and he gets healed and he doesn't have the burns anymore, and everyone, when they see the red hair and blue eyes, will automatically know who he is. If it was the white hair, they might not figure it out for a little bit. It might take a second. But with the red hair and blue eyes, everyone would know, like, that. They know who he was. They know he was Endeavor's kid, because he looked just like Endeavor, feature-wise. So, that's that part. Yeah, she was born in this in-between area where Dabi had not graduated officially from the program, but he was allowed to stay with Hawks instead of staying in the program's facility, because he had, like, behaved well enough. He still had to, like, go to the therapist and stuff. Is it weird that I wipe my makeup brushes on my clothes? Yeah, that's probably weird. Anyway, he still has to go to the therapists and the meetings and all that stuff, because he hasn't graduated yet, but he's much closer to graduation, and that's how she's born, because he's at home, because of course I want him to be there for her. I ain't doing none of that, oh, my dad's a villain, I didn't have a father figure growing up, none of that bullshit in this house. So, that's my headcanon for her, as far as that goes. So she was born in that in-between area, when he wasn't quite a full member of society again yet, but he was getting there. Because I didn't want her to be born while he was still staying at the facility, because I don't think that's fair. I really wanted him, a big part of this AU I'm doing, for him to be there for the kids. So that's a big part of it. And so, after that, we've got, so, of course, she's born on in these years where, because after a while, the biggest controversy over the villain rehabilitation program is going to break down. It's going to eventually disappear, like, at least lessen. Like, the biggest arguments about same-sex marriage in America, the big argument about it has hyped down. The biggest protesters have moved on to other things, because that happened years ago. Like, not that many years ago, but years ago. So she's born and lives her very young years in the time period where the rehabilitation program is still a big controversy because people are assholes. So it's not safe for her to go to, like, a public school. And of course I wouldn't suspect that it would be safe for many hero kids to go to public school, but her especially, because her dad is a former villain. And I haven't gotten a quirk name for her yet, because, like, the obvious ones kind of piss me off, like Phoenix and stuff, and Firebird. But she has the ones I figured out. She has the blue fire, but instead of being able to manifest, like, in the hands or on the arms or, like, whatever Shoto and Touya can do, it manifests, like, in places that Harbies would have feathers. Like, is it worth pulling her down? No, it's not worth pulling her down. I have a doll who's half harpy, and she has feathers along her arms like this. So she can do the fire along her arms, and then in some parts, like under her eyes and over her eyes, on her face, and then I would assume in some parts on her legs and her feet. And then she has the big red wings like hawks, and she can set all of those feathers on fire, and they won't actually burn. They're fireproof. Sorry, Endeavor. Chapter 188 or 189? Yeah, 188 or 189. But yeah, that's her quirk. So it's very, very, very obviously a mix of her parents' quirks. So that whole thing of people recognizing her at a public school, that's why. So she couldn't go to a public school for that reason, for her safety. She couldn't go to a public school. And I might have to stop talking for a little bit while I do this. Give me a second. So that's kind of the plan for that. Of course, I haven't canoned her to have any siblings because I counted like less than 10 Dabi kids on TikTok, and I'd rather, instead of creating my own siblings for her when I don't really have the resources to do that and cosplay them, which is the main way I get around with them because I suck at drawing people, I would rather open up the possibility to have the other already existing Dabi kids interact with each other, which I've already done. I've done a couple of mine, and I got an A-OK from one of them that they would love for theirs to have an older sister. And if the story I've told you already hasn't given it away, she's the oldest. So, give me a second. Just do this real quick. I'm sorry, I have a hard time talking while doing eyeliner. Okay. Do you ever get uneven eyeliner and you have no idea what you did to make it uneven? Yeah, that's me right now. Like, seriously, what on earth did I do? Is it that tiny dot there? Is that what's bothering me? Nah. But that's why I've not done any other siblings for her. Like, obviously she also hasn't existed for that long. But I'd much rather be able to interact with others as opposed to create my own family. And I think that's pretty neat because, like, I don't have that big of a following, like, in the grand scheme of things on TikTok. It's much larger than I thought it was going to be ever, but it's really not that big because I gained most of my followers for comedy and little jokey videos as opposed to cosplay videos. But I still want to make sure I do cosplay. Because my account isn't just for cosplay. That's why it's better than Magic Arts. Is it better than Magic Arts? It might just be better than Magic on TikTok. That's why it's just better than Magic on TikTok. Because I do stuff that isn't cosplay. That isn't art related. Because that's not what I made my account for. I made my account just to have an account. I made it when TikTok was still Musical.ly, believe it or not. A lot of people are like, you haven't been making videos for that long, or you haven't had many followers for that long. I have been here for a while, but a lot longer than a lot of people think. But I know that I'm going to try to start building my following. I've already started, a while ago I started only doing my posts on Instagram on this account in rows so that it's easier to find things. Because I don't just do art on here either. Like, I do arts, but not just art. I do knitting, I do Minecraft, I do cosplay, I do traditional art. I do all kinds of things on here. They're all art related, but they're different. So, and that's a big thing a lot of famous artists have said is only do art on your account if you want to grow your account. And I just said it a second ago as it pertains to my TikTok. Growing my following in my account is not my goal. My goal is to share what I love doing with myself and the people I care about. Because, like, another thing is, posting all this here gives me a way to track it and see how it's gone and what people thought of it and all that stuff. Because I have a phone. That phone does not have 500 miles of data for me to waste on storing pictures of my art. So this is also a way for me to clear my camera roll out, but still keep it's a way for me to clear my camera roll out, but still keep all of the pictures and videos of my stuff. And that's really nice and really important to me. So that's my big goal here. It's not to grow my following. I really don't care how many people follow me. Like, it feels nice when people follow me. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate all the people that follow me and like my pictures and comment and all that stuff. I appreciate that. But that's not my goal here. My goal isn't to get a bunch of followers. My goal is to enjoy what I'm doing and find other people who also like similar things. This is another thing, is I found a lot of people through TikTok and Instagram who I don't want to say I'm friends with, because a lot of them are adults and I'm not. So we're not really friends. Like, we talk, but we're not really friends because they're in completely different stages of life than I am. But I found a lot of people to talk to. So I'm not alone, because of course I said this in the first part of this, that I am homeschooled. I have no friends. None at all. So being able to talk to people with similar interests online, especially as an autistic person, where talking in real life is such a terrifying thing. Being able to talk to people on a platform like this is really, really nice. And it is time for me to step off camera as I talk, because I have to put my outfit on, which, for once, shows my stomach. Yay. I don't know if I should really keep talking while I'm off screen because I don't know how well you'll be able to... I should probably grab this first because I don't know how well you'll be able to hear me, but I'm gonna keep doing it anyway. So my big goal with Hotaru here is to interact with other cosplayers, because that's something that's always scary, is duetting people, because especially people that have way more people following them than you do, because you're always like, oh, they're famous, they don't want me bothering them, or they don't have time for me, why would they even take time of day to look at my stuff? And I'm gonna tell you now, the biggest people probably won't reply to messages and stuff. It's not because they don't care, because it's because they have so many messages that they get that they honestly sometimes don't see what you send them. And that's not something I can say from my experience, it's something I can say from talking to people who do have that experience. Because, like, I've talked to a lot of the cosplayers that I'm really influenced by, and like every time when it's been like even just a couple days since I messaged them, every time they're like, oh my god, I'm so sorry it took me so long to get to this. I'm like, I honestly thought you would never respond, ever. Like, ever at all. I thought you wouldn't respond at all in the slightest. And the answer is always that they have so many people that message them, fans and family and friends. Because you gotta remember, like I said, I'm on here to make friends and talk to people. They're on here likely for the same reason, just to talk to people and their personal friends and family. And then they've got also all these fans, sometimes thousands of fans messaging them pretty much daily. So if they don't respond, it's not because they don't care. It's because they either haven't seen it yet or don't have time. And I don't mean don't have time as in they don't care to give the times, that they literally don't have the time to be looking through thousands and thousands and thousands of DMs or comments or likes, because of course in Instagram and TikTok you don't have special sections for your likes and special sections for your comments and your follows. They all go into one. And like if you're getting hundreds of likes daily, of course you're probably going to miss a comment or a single follower. It's hard to see everything. And that was even a problem for me for a while. So like, don't get mad or sad or upset if someone who like you comment or you message or you follow, if they don't respond in any way. They probably don't mean to. That, or they don't see a way to respond. Like if you comment, cool, on something, there's really not a good way to respond to that. It's not just like a thumbs up or something. So they probably won't respond to it because they don't really know how. And that's something I can tell you right now is don't be afraid to comment or like, or in Instagram's case, DM, because when you reply to a story, to somebody's story, it DMs them. So don't be afraid to do that, because they're much nicer than you think they're probably going to be. I promise you that. The first time a TikToker I follow on Instagram messaged me back, I literally lost my mind. Quite literally lost my mind. So I'm telling you now, don't be scared of them. They're really not anything to be scared of. They're really nice people that honestly, for the most part, want to interact with you. It's so nice. Even on me, who's got this tiny, meager amount of followers, it's so nice to see people who care enough to interact like that. And that's something I've had to learn, talking to people on here and on TikTok. And like I found out recently that 2 of my favorite TikTokers follow me. I screeched. I kid you not. I screeched because I was so excited, because these people, they're so inspiring to me, followed me. And then one of them started liking my content that had nothing to do with them. It's like, of course a lot of content creators are going to like your stuff if it's like a duet with them. But a lot of them won't like it if it's not a duet with them, because why would they go and look for it? But they liked my content that had nothing to do with them, and I was like, what world am I living in? So, honestly, that's a big thing. Don't be afraid of creators. Just don't. They're all really nice. And now it's time for the fun, but also super aggravating part. And don't yell at me for brushing this wig with an actual brush. She can handle it, I promise. I brushed the entire thing out with tangles and everything the other day. I swear like 5 hairs came off of this wig. 5. Which is saying something for wigs. Because a lot of time you can't brush a wig without losing half the hair in the wig. At least that's what I've learned from the wigs that I've had. Which isn't that many, but like as far as cheap Halloween store wigs go, I think this one's pretty dang good. It's very obviously fake hair because no real hair is this shiny, but this is the fun part. And by the fun part, I mean the scariest part of the entire process. To perfectly get the wig cap over all of my actual hair. Which doesn't actually go over all my actual hair because that's not how wig caps work. But I think you get the point. And oh, and the bangs have returned. Oh god, these things are like the bane of my existence. These bangs refuse to get out of my face. That's just how they operate. And it's really cool. It's also super duper aggravating. It's like you're trying to film something and you push back and then back and then it falls again. And that's just how the filming process goes for her most of the time. And I've only ever cosplayed her once before this. The fact that I already know that and I've only cosplayed her once kind of worries me. Now, to find something to tie my hair back with. Itches suck. I'm thinking yarn. But do I have yarn in an acceptable color? Yes, I do, but can I get the yarn out with all this crap on? I might have to use chunky yarn for this. Hold on. Do I have a chunky yarn over for this? Yes, I do. I have brown. Yay for brown yarn. Okay. This Hotaru is like training Hotaru, I'm thinking. So I'm like gonna pull the short bangs out. It's my plan. Just to grab the short bangs and then tie everything else back. That's why I picked stuff that's like more activewear. These pants are actually horseback riding pants because if you didn't know, I ride horses. Okay, yeah, that's nice to not have this giant bush on my shoulders. Okay, I tied it with a bow. And now my job is to figure out where to place everything so that none of my actual hair shows as I'm working. Okay? And then make sure nothing is stuck in itself. Make sure nothing looks awkward. And then comb a little bit. Just to make sure everything's laying right and it's all smoothed out. And hold on. I'm thinking I might tie this back a little bit just to keep it from being directly in my face, because that's annoying. But pinning it exposes my real hair, so I'm thinking just a little tie of some kind. If I do a loose knot, it won't. You know, I might let it down. I might leave it down. I can tuck it behind my ear for the most part. Or at least I can tuck it back for the most part. It's not the most aggravating thing in the world. Okay, I gotta go. It's time to make some TikToks.